Saul Greenberg from the University of Calgary. Now, I've just made this physical button. What I'm going to show you is how we can create custom physical interfaces to off-the-shelf Windows applications or computer applications by using phidgets and our special widget tap software to link physical devices such as this to standard graphical widgets. Now, I'll start by demonstrating how we can use this button. Using our widget tap and phidget library, I've created this short program, and this is the complete program here, that will let me link this physical button to any graphical button. Let me show you how that works. What I'm going to do is drag this icon on top of this graphical button, in this case a button to advance a slideshow. Now once I've done that, I can now press that physical button and it will be identical to pressing the graphical button. Now there's other graphical widgets that behave similar to buttons, and these are menu items in menu lists. I'm going to drop this on top of Windows Messenger, but now I get a list of all the contents of the Windows Messenger menus. So I'm going to select the My Status to Busy menu item, and now if I press a button and watch over here, you'll see that my status has been reset. For a final example, I'm going to drop this on top of Microsoft Outlook. And again, I get a list of all its menu operations. I'll select a new mail message. And now when I press the button, we get a new mail message. Now what I've just illustrated is how we can link this physical button to a variety of widgets, that is graphical buttons and menu items. And we don't need the source of those applications. These are all off-the-shelf applications, and there's nothing in my code that knows anything about them. Of course, there are other graphical controls. For example, the simple volume dialog has sliders and checkboxes and a few other things. Wouldn't it be nice if I could link physical sliders to those graphical sliders, as well as physical buttons to those graphical checkboxes? I'm going to show you how we can do this in a slightly different version of our customization application. To demonstrate it, I'm going to drag and drop this physical slider control on top of the volume control slider. I've now created a link between my physical slider and the graphical volume control. I can drag another physical slider control on top of the balance control over here. Now I can control the stereo balance. Of course, I can do the two together at the same time. Now try doing that with the mouse. I can now drop a button control on top of the mute volumes checkbox. And now pressing this physical button will mute the volume. Or I can drop the menu control on top of the whole volume control dialog and select, in this case, the properties menu item. Pressing this physical button will now raise the volume properties dialog. What I've just shown you is the ability to link into many graphical widgets, as well as the ability to physically automate many aspects of a single application. I can also customize physical controls to serve as output. Here I have a phidget servo motor. I've made a paper gauge around it, and I'm going to make a needle on top of this gauge with my trusty little Lego man. Using a strategy similar to what you've seen before, I'll connect this physical gauge to the battery meter for my laptop. You'll see that after the connection is made, the physical gauge will rotate to show that I have a full battery. This gauge will now dynamically track that power meter. Let's look at it again in a little while to see what will happen. So here we are about half an hour later, and we see that my battery is now down to 77%, and also my physical gauge shows that the battery is only 3/4 full. So what we see now is that we've managed to link a physical device onto a graphical control, this time to display output. Again, this device has absolutely no knowledge about how that power meter actually works. For this example, I'll use a phidget RFID tag reader and various RFID tags, which I'll tape onto the back of a piece of cardboard. I'll do that so I can write on top of the cardboard, so I'll know what tag I attach to the particular buttons in various applications. Again, I'll use a slideshow viewer as an example. My slideshow controls are first, previous, next, and last, so I'll write the same thing on the labels. To customize it, I just take my first one, pass it over the tag. It asks me to customize the button. I select the button I want, and that's customized. I repeat the same with the other tags. And now I can just use my tags. Oh, I like that previous one. Let's see what the last slide looks like. Oh, let's go back to the first slide. Let's keep going.